Kia ora universe, VVV here, Victoria Velasquez Vincent, your Miss Universe New Zealand 2024, and welcome to episode one of my not so live chats with the Miss Universe New Zealand contestants for 2025. In episode one today, I have with me the lovely Noor. Hello, Noor, how are you?
Hello, I'm so good. How are you, Victoria?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I just wanted to start this off as if the people that are watching have no idea who you are.
Mhm.
So could you please introduce yourself for me?
Absolutely. Well, hello, universe. My name is Noor Randhawa, and I am honored to be one of the finalists for Miss Universe New Zealand 2025. So I'm currently based in Auckland, New Zealand. Right now, I am in Los Angeles for a work trip, but I am incredibly thrilled to be part of this pageant. So a little bit about me. I work as a commercial executive in Auckland. So basically, I am the brand lead for a couple of the boys' toys brands. But outside of that, I love to work. I used to work as a lifeguard and I love the water. So I love swimming, going to the gym. And then also I'm involved in a lot of like youth volunteering because I'm really passionate about civics education and youth empowerment within that space. So I'm incredibly thrilled to be here. And thank you so much for having me, VVV.
No, thank you so much. Just for everyone that is watching, Noor is currently in a time zone where it's nearly midnight. So I appreciate the dedication. Thank you so much. I would be fast asleep by now. I have a bit of a
Yeah.
grandma like that. But that's very cool. So I wanted to start this super light, super fun, and a little bit different to maybe other interviews that you've done. So I had a bit of a stalk of your social media, and I have chosen a photo, and I would like you to tell me the story behind that photo or like a fun fact or something just about
Mhm.
that photo when it was taken, anything at all. Just give us a little bit of insight and hopefully my screen will show it. That just shows how dirty my screen is. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
One moment, everybody. Okay, there we go. This photo here.
Oh, there we go. That photo is actually from the end of 2023. So I've had the privilege of coming from a background where education is of utmost importance to my family. So I was really privileged to graduate from the University of Auckland with a Bachelor of Commerce. So I majored in operations, supply chain management, and marketing. And I was always a business kid at heart. And since then, I think it's just been great getting into full-time work and really just like fulfilling my career and diving straight into it. So that was just a wonderful day. I think I was in the car with my mother and my two younger sisters on the way to dinner with my family. So I come from a family of really strong women. And so we were all in the car and I was like, you know what? The lighting is good. This is a perfect time for a selfie. It's a great day. It's like a celebration of education and everything that came with it because it wasn't just me who kind of put my heart and soul into the educational side, but also my mother and obviously generations behind who obviously value that. So yeah, that was the cute little moment.
I love that. That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. The reason why I chose that is I also graduated from the University of Auckland and
Oh,
I also have a matching teddy bear for my degree and like the hood that I have and everything. I just thought it's such a like token Auckland uni thing to do to get that matching teddy bear. So
yeah.
tell me, what was like the most challenging part of your university studies? Because like going to uni is not an easy feat, right?
Mhm.
So what do you think is the most challenging thing that you faced and how did you sort of like get yourself through it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a really interesting question. Looking back on my university experience, it was very unique because my first year was actually within the COVID-19 pandemic. So the entire thing was basically online. Now, that's very different to what you might see in the movies or what you've been told in high school. So a lot of my classes when I came into first year uni, it's quite a big step from what you've seen before in like high school. So it was all online and you were wanting to, converse with your peers, but it was through Zoom instead of just being across the table in one of the courtyards. So I think that was one of the biggest things navigating was you're trying to make friends. It's a new environment. The learning style is quite different. And then it's also very new content. But I'm very grateful that I had a great support system being my family and also all of my friends. And again, so many resources available to us online of how we're able to navigate that. Because with social media and YouTube, I think the world as itself is like much smaller now because we're so interconnected. So the resources that we have available, I think, really helped me to kind of catapult into that uni lifestyle, not let what was the pandemic at the time taint my experience. But interesting times, but I think you look back on it now and you laugh because COVID-19 was such a memory, but it definitely shaped me into the person who I am today because of that resilience that you learn and also the initiative because you really have to take hold of your own education and learning when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine you'd have to be so like self-motivated
Mm,
to be able to like get through everything and learn everything at the right pace as well. And
exactly.
that's interesting. I never thought about so I was on the other end of it, I suppose, or like the prior into it,
Yeah.
where I finished when COVID started. And
Oh,
so I never actually graduated from my double masters. Well, I did graduate, but I never got to do the whole graduation. I just took some pics in the backyard. Um, but that's so cool. I love that your family played a huge role in you getting through it. I think that's really important. And I can imagine they're probably playing a huge role in you getting through this whole pageant journey as well.
absolutely. I mean, I don't think I can count on my fingers the nights that my mum spends helping with my national costume and like helping me just rehearse some of my answers or like think about some of the topics. I think it's really important because your family is who like help you grow and like the values that help shape your childhood and into the woman that you become today. So that empowerment, it's really from like day dot. And yeah, just incredibly grateful for that.
Absolutely. I can't wait to meet your mum at the finals. I'm sure she's going to be like the loudest person screaming for you. That's so
You
precious.
bet.
Would you say that so you mentioned that you work in like the toy industry, I guess is the best way to put it. And then you've obviously got the degree that you have, and then pageantry is like quite a shift from all of that. So do you think that there are any transferable skills between like uni work and pageantry and then vice versa?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things that people, because pageantry isn't the biggest thing in New Zealand, it is quite stereotypical that women are getting into it. And it's just based on surface level beauty and not necessarily the internal skills, which help us on a day to day basis. But what I found is kind of fell into pageantry when I did my first pageant last year and I ended up winning Miss India New Zealand. But what it was is that the resilience when you face some of the challenges within pageantry, whether it's just like something within your costume not going ahead or something might not have arrived and you have to pivot at that last moment. It's a similar with work because you have to be so agile. You have to be able to take initiative and switch when you're faced with challenges on a day-to-day basis. And then within my job, right now I'm here in Los Angeles for the Los Angeles Toy Fair. We were basically pitching all the new innovation for 2026 ahead of time to all of these retailers. So the communication and being able to empathize with the retailers, especially when you have some things like tariffs in the economic market, you have to be educated and know what you're speaking about. So that's very transferable to pageantry because in the economic and political state of the world, things are always changing. It's very volatile. So knowing that there are so many variable factors and being able to pivot with that and empathizing with the person that you're speaking to on what really helps relate to them is so important. So I think it's definitely one that is transferable and also it's not just for like now when you're young, but it'll be with you for like the rest of your life. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like, by the sounds of things, you have nailed those transferable skills because you're a fantastic communicator, by the way.
So
And
much.
I agree with you. I often relate like the Q&A and communication part of pageantry back to like back when I used to do my architecture critiques at university. And the key to being able to answer any question that came your way was just knowing your design to its absolute core. And so I think that pageantry is a little bit like that as well. Like you never know what people are going to ask you, and it can be quite scary. And when you're on stage and your nerves are getting the best of you, you all you can rely on really is just knowing yourself and knowing what you believe in and what you stand for and the way that you want to show up in pageantry. So I definitely agree with all of those things. That's very cool. So tell me, with less than 2 months until
Mhm.
Miss Universe New Zealand, that is
Oh my
rolling
goodness.
around very, very quickly. um, can you describe to me the version of Noor that we're going to see on that night?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a big leap of faith at the end of the night, but I'm a very ambitious personality. Whatever it is, regardless of what has happened in order for me to get to that spot, I will always put my best foot forward because I'm a firm believer that whatever has happened to us in the past has shaped us into the human and like the personality I am today. So whatever the challenges they may be, or the people that I've met, or the skills that I've learnt along the way, whatever it is, I think that is enough to equip me to be the best person that I am. And again, you mentioned that the values that we carry with us since day dot, they're ingrained within us. And that's what we're really working with, like the ethos of what we believe in. So whether that is like the kindness or the authenticity and the like how genuine we are, that's the type of person you're going to see with me. So what you see on the stage is exactly what it is. I don't believe in putting up a facade just for the show, but I believe in that authenticity, like letting it shine, and the genuine kind of curiosity of what else can come with this amazing platform, which is Miss Universe New Zealand.
Beautiful. I cannot wait to see you on stage, and I can't wait to be screaming from hopefully the front. I think I'm going to be dashing between backstage and the front of the whole night, but you will hear me screaming for you, that's for sure. Just in relation to pageantry, I think, like you mentioned earlier, pageantry is not really that big of a deal in New Zealand. And I think that comes from people not fully understanding the depth and the substance that can occur in pageantry, right? And the depth and substance that the women hold. So a little bit of a controversial question, but if you were to remove any portion of the Miss Universe pageant or like Miss Universe New Zealand, what portion would you remove and why?
Yeah, I think it's super interesting because this has been quite a debate within the media recently, especially when you have other like parallel pageants such as Miss World and then Miss Earth. I think the one that I would personally remove is the swimsuit competition, just because that's such like, sometimes when you're looking at the universe, you're not always coming from a background where like water is of abundance and you're always going to be by poolside. But sometimes in Miss Universe, the empowerment that you see within the women is when they're in the workforce. We're so grateful. I think the cohort this year, there's like a police officer, there's a lawyer, I'm a commercial executive, we've had a flight attendant. So the strongest uniform in which we're really able to show other people what they're capable of and inspire them is maybe a police uniform, a flight attendant, or like a corporate business suit. It's not necessarily a swimsuit. So I think being able to let that authenticity shine through maybe the national costume or your evening gown when it's really the beauty within, which helps like your aura outside, I think that could be quite cool. And then also it's 2025. So sometimes you see that the world is changing and we're so accommodating of what these different body types, like skin colors are. So sometimes a swimsuit isn't just the best silhouette, but there's so much more that we could be bringing to the table, if that is in terms of like the uniform that we wear on a day-to-day basis, or maybe even like the charity or nonprofit work that we do behind the scenes could be a really cool aspect that I think would really help show even further how much we're empowering others and how empowered we feel ourselves.
I love that. Everything you say, you justify to the absolute extreme, which I love. I absolutely love that. I'm the kind of person that does the exact same thing, to the point sometimes I feel like I talk a little bit too much, but I love everything that you're saying. And I agree. I feel like, although like the swimsuit competition is great in the sense that it allows women to showcase how comfortable they are and confident and everything with their bodies, I also feel like, unfortunately, you know, there is that element of society where not we, but like other people like naturally compare. And so like with evening gown, there's the point of comparison gown to gown, right? But then with swimsuit, if everyone's wearing the same swimsuit as well, then it's like you're just comparing bodies and you're just reducing women to their bodies. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I had this idea for this whole series, I guess I'm doing for Miss Universe New Zealand. But because you are the first, it doesn't quite apply to you in the same way. So what I'm going to do, especially because it's all pre-recorded, is I'd like you to leave a question for the next girl to answer. Obviously, I don't have one for you because you are number one. But what question would you like me to ask the next girl?
Yeah, I think it's super interesting because the same way I sort of fell into pageantry because it's not so big in New Zealand, I think there's so many other people who would just need that little push, that the fact that you can just believe in yourself and do it regardless of your background. So I think the one question I would ask is, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to a person who has considered pageantry, but they're not quite sure of the reason why they should get into it? And how would you convince them?
Okay, I'm going to need a second to write that down, but that is a wonderful question. Hopefully I get it correct for the next person, but thank you so very much. It has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and I cannot wait to meet you in person. I hope you get some rest, given that it was nearly midnight, and good luck with the rest of your work trip. Good luck with the rest of your preparations. I am very excited, and I am just a message away if you ever need anything. So take care of yourself and travel safe back home as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Victoria. All right. Bye.
See you.